Continues, as you know, who slaps a 104% tariff on China. But last night he stuck by his story that all of this is going according to plan. Take a look.
These countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate.
It's actually kind of funny, the sound that Trump made with his mouth. All right, guys, so we got, yes, I'm back again with the girls, the squawking hens. For anybody who is watching the channel, anybody new here, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. So, of course, we got the girls talking about tariffs. Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin's getting ready to lose their mind. Alyssa Farah, everything. I haven't covered these women in a while because they just always get hysterical and miss the point. Because there's a lot of points that can be made, but they will miss it. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Well, I don't know if they're all kissing his ass to do this, but it seems like even his top advisors cannot figure out what is going on here. What is the plan? And the White House is trying to clean things up, apparently, after Elon Musk and trade advisor Peter Navarro got into a public war of words. Take a look at this.
The American people understand that Elon's a car manufacturer, but he's not a car manufacturer, he's a car assembler.
Musk actually referred to Navarro today as being, quote, dumber than a sack of bricks. Are you or is the administration, the president, all concerned that this is maybe impacting the public's understanding of these tariffs? It might be messing with the message on it?
No, look, these are obviously two individuals who have very different views on trade and on tariffs. Boys will be boys, and we will let their public sparring continue. And you guys should all be very grateful that we have the most transparent administration in history.
Boys will be, these are not boys. These are grown men.
Okay, and they're not getting along. So obviously they're sparring. Look, they don't see eye to eye on everything. Actually, the answer was kind of weak of like, boys will be boys. But at the same time, it's like, what do you expect? Like, they gawk at everything and make everything seem like it's like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Of course she said that. That's what she's going to say. Let us not act like it's going to be anything any different.
So I'm not sure that boys will be boys is going to fly. But, what the hell do I know?
Well, first of all, in order to kiss his ass, you have to get Mike Johnson out of the way. That's number one. Number two, what is his exact plan is what I want to know. Yeah. I was home, I had a cold yesterday, so I was home watching everything. And I'm thinking, he's trying to destroy the country. Now, why is he doing that? Just as a person in the audience, like watching this. Yeah. So there's a couple of theories.
Yes. And what's...
Yeah, first of all, if he tanks the entire, what do you call it?
Economy,
the stock market, then all his billionaire friends can swoop in and buy everything low. That's not an original idea. That's Hakeem Jeffries said that. And the other thing, and in fact, today on Truth Social, Trump wrote, a great time to buy. The other theory is from James Carville, which I think is interesting, that he wants to stoke such instability and chaos to consolidate power for himself so that people start to really go nuts, which we're starting to.
No, we're not.
Well, people are starting to get mad.
Well, that's good. Yeah. You want them to get mad.
But how mad will people get, and how broke will people get, and how many jobs will be lost? And then he can say, well, there's too much chaos, and now we're going to have martial law in this country, and he becomes a dictator. I mean, I don't know. That may be...
Geez Louise, girl, calm down. There is a way where that can happen. That is a fact. But because, look, okay... they are kidnapping people for op-eds on Israel. Like, get out of here, please. Okay, so, but we're not there. The thing is, you can't talk, like, girl, nobody's going to put you away because you said something about tariffs, okay? They're doing what they're going to do. And these shows only serve to work on people's emotions, right? Because they're going to complain and they're making it seem like, oh, it's just Trump doing this on his own. Like, we're still on Trump. This is still Trump derangement syndrome. Because when I have a problem with the administration, it's not just because, oh, Trump is doing this. It's everybody surrounding Trump. And him, too, because he doesn't call it out. like, hey, I do have some, hardcore influence that's really kind of probably getting on my nerves, but whatever, I can't make those excuses for him. His name is involved. He's there, yes. But girl, just, oh my God, like, get the boomers up. It's like, no, I don't say stuff like that.
Out of the bounds.
Anything is possible.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
So somebody watching the news, that's what I see.
I'm going to be honest, though. The poor and the rich alike are losing money. Elon Musk might have lost more money than anyone else on the planet.
He also started with more.
But by the way, but that's the point.
Yeah.
He's even hurting his wealthy friends. And anyone saying buy the dip, do not buy the dip. It keeps dipping lower. You will actively lose money. The best thing people can be doing is sitting back, calling their congressman and saying, please use your congressional power to push back on these tariffs that are going to move this economy back to like 100 years ago. But I know Peter Navarro well. I shared this with you. I am in no way surprised that global markets are in a free fall because he is the driving force behind these tariffs. This is a person that we would actively try to keep away from President Trump.
Is it that he doesn't understand?
He does understand. By the way, he was
Economics?
a lifelong Democrat,
Navarro.
but he's one of these.
Navarro.
Yes, Navarro. But he's one of these.
Y'all would want to keep Navarro away from Trump after he was there, like loyal to Trump. I think he went to like jail for Trump. Why would? Oh gosh, I haven't covered these women in a while, and nothing's changed, yo. And then you just don't cease to amaze me with the insanity that comes out of your mouth again. Like, you can be cynical of an administration, and you don't have to sound hysterical. I can't believe she said that.
Old school, like just thinks we can be a purely protectionist nation that does no foreign trade with any other nation on earth.
Yeah.
That does not work in an interconnected global economy. And people from all over Trump's orbit are coming out and saying, this guy ain't smart. And Elon Musk, who I don't agree with on much of anything, I don't know why he's overseeing Doge. I'd actually love to hear from him on tariffs. He has experience running a business. He employs 100,000 people in this country. He understands supply chains. That's someone who, this would be a good time for him to chime in and
wants a zero tariff for everyone.
He doesn't want any tariff.
But I also think it's interesting in that soundbite, Trump was saying, nobody negotiates like me. But he said multiple times he's not negotiating. So this is part of the problem.
Okay, but people did come to the table. So anyway, these girls, they never talk about the real issues. I'm not even going to go to the whatever this thing is here that they have. Let's just go ahead and watch Sunny, who I'm sure is. Let's take a wager, and I could be wrong, right? I feel like this will get racial somehow. I could be wrong.
Losing billions. So I don't know if it's like equal opportunity offense to everyone. It might be Joyce theory.
I don't think he knows what he's doing. He bankrupted. What we keep on failing to remember is that he bankrupted 2 casinos. He had 6 bankruptcies. Nobody does that. He's just not a good business person. He doesn't understand economics. His professor at Wharton Business School basically said he was the dumbest student he'd ever had in his career. These are just facts. So Trump definitely doesn't understand economics. He's listening to someone who you say doesn't understand economics. And so there is no end plan. There is no game plan. He doesn't know how to negotiate. He couldn't negotiate himself out of a paper bag. But the issue here...
But his narcissism prevents him from listening to people.
Oh my God, listening to these girls speak make me just... I'm not one of those repeal the 19... I don't say that, but like, man, there have been a lot of women lately who have made a strong case for it in my mind. Furthermore, okay, bankrupting a business is like a tax loophole, okay? I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, all right? I have not looked at Trump's business plans and how he does certain things. But number one, I'm never going to come at somebody who takes a chance in life, especially somebody named Donald Trump, for that. No, because whether he bankrupt them or not, for whatever, let's not act like Trump towers, all of this stuff. Trump was 80s, 90s guy, okay? Like, there's so many other things that you could come at this tariffs about. Instead, you want to say that he doesn't understand economics. Like, do they understand how it sounds outlandish?
Admitting that.
Yes.
And to Whoopi's point at the very beginning, meaning that clip that we played, that he's saying, everybody's kissing my butt. They're actually not, because China has accused the United States of blackmail and declared that Beijing would fight to the end. The Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has said its friendship with the U.S. is over. Australia's Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said Trump's tariffs have no basis in logic, are not the act of a friend, and he called them totally unwarranted. Macron from France, he said the tariffs are brutal and unfounded.
Who said this? We went from the envy of the world to the enemy of the world.
Yes.
Who said that?
I don't know who said that, but what I will say, from my perspective,
They didn't say it because of the tariffs. They said it. They kind of said, they've been saying stuff like that, especially after October 7th and the fact that we fund Israel and our unholy alliance with Israel. There are a lot of countries, people in other countries who do say things like that. Yes. It's not really because of the tariffs, okay?
perspective, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, no country can count on America anymore. They're going to ice us out economically. We're going to be on our own because they're not going to be able to depend on a country that every 4 years could elect a dictator. They can't.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. If we did isolate ourselves, it would be a good thing. If this was really being done for the American people, where they really were bringing back jobs to the American people and, like gonna tariff and then do, production, start really putting into the youth, fortifying the youth, telling them, like, we have these new opportunities coming up, especially in rural areas or, yes, in the hood, whatever. And tell them, like, this is what you need to learn. Like, let's stay focused and do, instead of all these other theory classes and all that. Yeah, this would be an amazing thing. This wouldn't even call for all of these ridiculous tears, and not even tears, but just like histrionics, okay? That's why they can't take these women seriously. And all this, but they would never say, well, China is halting the sale of Panama Canal to BlackRock and ports around the world. And so this is why we're waging a tariff war with China, because then Trump went back and said 90 days for everybody else except for China, right? And so, we're waging this war. They could have said that for the big corporations. I thought they didn't like the oligarchs. They didn't say that. They just go and wham, Trump, bad. And I'm done with it. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.